say something first? And
Sure.
I'm going to give it right to you.
Sure, no, it's good. We never know. That's why the porn music is good. Because
are we going to be on Fox or CNN? Which one? Okay, welcome to the Gary Squared Pickleball.
I don't know. I think we're a pickleball channel now.
All right. Hey, first of all, we'd like to thank Ron Fidel for being our video guy, and he's putting together all our videos and our audios for this podcast. First, let me introduce myself. My name's Gary Wilson, and this is
Gary Wilson. And we've got Spaghettiman taping us. So
we're here today, and we're going to just talk briefly about how the evolution of pickleball has developed here in Southwest Florida and nationally, and kind of discuss the social part of pickleball and then also the competitive part.
Yeah, so I guess we'll start with the social part. I don't know. Where are we starting with the history, or are we starting with the social?
Let's start with the social. I think most people know the history of pickleball now.
Do they know?
It was invented in what, 67 in Washington or something, and somehow it seemed to have gotten to Florida's old people first in a way, but apparently people in California and Utah think they're really good as well.
I hope Gary uses that term "old people" kind of loosely. I don't like that term too much. But anyway, pickleball is a sport. It's kind of like tennis oriented and table tennis oriented and so on. And in fact, if you notice, Gary here, he won the gold medal in the senior games in table tennis today.
Woo! I think there was a couple other opponents, yes, and we took silver in the team table tennis, and there were two teams, so we did maybe
we participated.
So kind of pickleball translates to many sports, table tennis included.
Yeah.
I'd like to say socially, pickleball is one of the best activities in the country, and that's the reason it is the largest growing sport in the United States at this time. I was a high school athletic director, and what I see in pickleball is it's a sport that anyone can play. You can play it very highly competitive, or you can play it where you're hitting the ball back over the net, just having a great time and enjoying yourself.
I think you said it best about 5 years ago when I met you, and you said anything below 4-0, it's very fun pickleball, and once you get over above 4-0, it becomes war. But so when we're in the social aspect of it, you've got four people in a much smaller area than tennis. And it just translates into a sociable, fun game. And how many people now are in pickleball? How many were when we started 5 or 6 years ago, and then 10 years ago?
Wow, I can't even imagine what that number is, but I will tell you that it's probably 20 times what it was 5 years ago. And you're now seeing money being invested in it. You're seeing it on ESPN. It's just a great sport.
Pickleball channel as well. They'll be hiring us soon, right? When are they going to pick us up? Have you been talking to them?
We've been talking to them, and they said they're very interested. They want to see a podcast and see the video first, so we're relying on Ron to take care of that for us.
Yes, marketing and videoing. And speaking of getting on a channel, we also forgot our sponsors. So just a shout out. Here is my paddle sponsor, our ball sponsor. You manufacturers out there can fill in the blanks. We're looking. Gary, you got it.
We're always looking for sponsors, and we're always looking to promote different events and promote different venues of play. So if you're interested, please contact us. I'd also like to kind of give a shout out to Adidas Pickleball. It's a growing company with some top of the line paddles. and some top-of-the-line equipment. They have some really nice shirts, some really nice hats, and I'm doing my best to get Gary some of that stuff from Adidas.
Joe, is there any discount codes that you have for that or reference to it?
We don't have any discount codes for that, but if you're interested in purchasing any Adidas equipment, you could always contact me at pickle.lessons@gmail.com.
And if you click on the link below, you will see a discount code for Engage, who is sponsoring Spaghettiman, our video marketing guru. So back to pickleball, social sport.
Gary, let me interject. One of the difficulties in pickleball is as you move through the ranks as a beginner player up to a 4-0, 4-5 competitive player, it's a hard transition. We won't kid you on that. To move up and play the players that are better than you is not always easy. You got to, just like almost any athletic event, you got to keep plugging away, keep improving, and your skills will improve and your level of play will go up and up, and you should have a great time.
Yeah, I think for the first maybe year or two I started playing, I played generally with the same 4 people. We just went out, we just had a hoot of a time. It's just a lot of fun. You get exercise. It's a wonderful social sport. I know my wife just took it up with 8 other dragon boaters. They're maybe not so good, but they have a really fun, good time. The social aspect, if you, as many of you pickleballers out there know, is just amazing. Great group of people.
It's kind of wild. I started playing pickleball about 8 years ago, and one of the reasons I moved to Florida was to play pickleball, and that was 4 years ago. And people would say, "You moved to Florida to play pickleball?" Well, people do that to play golf, and pickleball is just as great as golf, and you get to meet a lot of people. I got to meet my brother here, another Gary Wilson, and don't ask me how that happened, but
Gary Wilson squared, yes. Much a pleasure. I guess if we want to move on to the competitive side of pickleball, where does that start?
Yeah, Gary, I'd like to just say one thing about the competitive side. To compete at a higher level, you want to play some tournaments. And there's tournaments that are listed on pickleballtournaments.com and pickleballbrackets.com. And I'm going to be totally honest, some of these tournaments are getting too expensive. For the average player to come in and have to spend $120 to play one event of a double elimination is getting expensive. And initially it was $50, $60 in the last few years. It's gone up to $110, $120. I'd like to see if there's ways to keep that down.
Yeah, I believe with all the facilities now being built, we will see a decrease in prices, hopefully. I know that a lot of the local tournaments you can jump into aren't quite as expensive. The issue is obviously now we have a monopoly in pickleball, being the PPA, and who is now MLP combined. And they own pickleballbrackets.com, which everything is migrating towards. And I see a lot of service fees coming now. And I guess, shout out to all the local tournament people who run tournaments. I ran some myself at this facility, actually, and it's not a cheap proposition. You've got insurance to pay for, you've got court rentals. But I do agree with you, GW, that we need to see the costs come down on the tournaments in order that we can have a better competitive, beyond your normal weekly matchups.
One thing I'd like to add on that is as you play more and more pickleball, Gary, you might want to say something. I forgot what the heck I was saying. That's what happens when you're a senior player.
Yeah, we're going a little fuzzy, but I think we're back here.
How's this mic? Man,
hello.
It's me.
Hello.
It's you.
Hello.
It's me. It doesn't pick up my voice.
Hello.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
That's
right.
better. That was
this
better.
is better when you get it right here and you're talking directly into it.
might have to fire.
Do that.
No, you're
Gary, you're fired.
Okay, that sounded better.
How can you do a podcast when we can't even hear the guy?
That's perfect.
That's good.
That was better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you got to get me excited.
Donna!
That's what my wife says.
Oh, listen to that now.
Okay, I think one of the things that most people would really like to hear is our version of who the top players are in Southwest Florida.
Okay, Southwest Florida.
Southwest Florida.
Okay, and how, again, is this determined? Is this where they are born, or is this where they live, or is this where they played originally? Like,
I think we're going to look at it and incorporate all those things. People that
Okay.
were born here, played here, and maybe some have moved away because some are moving here and there. But let's go with what I got, Gary.
all right, here we go.
All right, for the first male, the top male, I believe, in the history of pickleball here in Florida is Kyle Yates.
Kyle Yates. Now there is an interesting one. Right now, I think he lives just about 30 miles south of here.
Yeah, he lives in Fort Myers, 30 miles probably.
Okay, Kyle, if you're listening to us, as you should be, because we're going to be on the Pickleball channel, we need you sitting right here. Next podcast, Kyle Yates, right here. So number one, that's your number one male. That's interesting. Now, I mean, Kyle Yates, that's funny because he goes way back here. Like, so I'm curious to hear 2 and 3 and 4 because Kyle was actually the start of some of these big pros. So let me hear.
All right, I think some of my other ones that I have listed here are younger guys that have only been playing maybe 3 years and just have come along. Some of them have a tennis background and so on. I have Federico Staksrud.
Wow. Okay. Now, I don't know if Southwest Florida, but yes, he literally played on that court right there. I believe it might have been in his first tournament, and he was living in Fort Myers and played with Dominique or something. And,
Yes, I believe he still lives in Fort Myers, Gary.
Yeah, and he's still speaking Spanish or something, right? Or
Still speaking Spanish.
the guy can rip a forehand. Let me tell you that. So I'm glad to see his soft game got a lot better.
That's number two. Number
yeah,
three, I got Pablo Tellez.
Wow, interesting. Where's Pablo now?
Pablo is also in Fort Myers.
Okay, still here. How long ago did Pablo start? Do you know?
Pablo started pickleball probably 5 years ago.
Okay. Wow.
And then I got one that's kind of a personal pick, and this is a good friend of my son. My son Blake Wilson is a professional pickleball player. He is unfortunately not in the top 4, but a good friend of his is Brendan Long. Brendan Long is from Fort Myers, teaches at the YMCA in Bonita Springs, and he is up and coming.
Wow. So are we going to be seeing Brendan Long going challenger level, or is he going to be playing APPs coming up?
Brendan currently is in the MLP, plays on the challenge level now, I believe, or maybe plays as a substitute there. And I also believe that he won a gold medal in, I think, Arizona about 2 months ago for the PPA.
All right. Very, very impressive. So when we were talking about doing this list, I only did the top 3, and I will say straight off that I was mixing genders. So I only had 3 players total. And I will tell you that one of those 3 was a male and the other 2 were females. But you got to go with Kyle Yates as number 1. Now, I'll get back to my other 2, but talking about males right now, Kyle Yates was the beginning of Ben Johns. I don't know if we can say Kyle Yates taught Ben Johns to play, but it is pretty close to that. I mean, do you have any history on that, GW?
I think Kyle Yates was the beginning of competitive pickleball. Kyle Yates made his name. He was the number 1 in the world for a while. And then as pickleball grew, there was just more and more competitors, more and more tennis players. And Kyle's ranking slipped a little bit. Lately, he's been fighting back and coming on. But Kyle was definitely the beginning guy.
Yeah, I remember Kyle Yates winning many U.S. Opens. He was the guy to beat. And then I think he brought this guy called Ben Johns kind of help Ben break the ice. One of our topics that's going to come up down the line when we're on Pickleball Channel is, where does Kyle Yates rank right now as far as right side player? Like, he might still be in the top 5 in the world, and he again is Southwest Florida. Great guy again, Kyle. You could be sitting right here. I want to hear your input and everything. I don't know. I guess we'll get back to best right side player maybe in the world later.
Sure.
So let's get to your female list. I'm really curious to hear this.
My female list has to start with Simone Jardine. She goes back as far as Kyle. She's currently a teacher, I believe, at Bonita Springs, and Simone has won a lot of gold medals over the years. Simone retired, and then Simone unretired. So she's just the top-notch.
She might be retiring again after I saw her whack that chair and almost break her hand. She didn't look too happy. So we'll see. I'm ready for her to turn 50 so that me and Simone can go, senior pro, 50 plus. Simone, you hear me, right? All right.
All right, let me give you another one. Very, very local young lady, and she's come on in the last year and a half. Vivian David.
Wow.
From Southwest Florida. There's a name that kind of unexpected, and she just kept improving, and now Vivian's probably in the top 10 females in the country.
Yeah, it was truly amazing watching Vivian here, because she wasn't even hardly the top 10 player at this facility 2 years ago. Is she even in the top few in her family? I'm not even sure, like, when that took place. But, great choice. That's great.
Great choice. And another one that just kind of follows along with Simone is Catherine Parento. Catherine was a student of Simone and also works with Simone doing lessons in Bonita Springs area, and just a great competitor and top female.
Absolutely. And we'll get back to my list shortly, because we're gonna have to discuss that.
All right, I'm gonna give you.
We got number 4.
I got to give you one more female, Gar. This player, I would say, came into pickleball only 3 years ago, and I remember seeing her play one of her first tournaments. I believe it was on the East Coast somewhere, and when we watched her play, she was playing like 4-5, 5-0, and we said, wow, that's all you could comment was, if you want to get a partner for mixed, get this person. And she's come on, she's strong, she just has a competition about her that's very strong. Paris Todd.
Wow, interesting. So Paris Todd, I believe, is in Fort Myers now. Plays with Simone a lot. That's really interesting. So you've got your list, and I told you Kyle's my number 1, and I've got a number 2 and number 3, and then I'm going to ask you about someone that maybe we should have thrown in, and maybe she didn't qualify, maybe based on location. I don't know. I'm going to have to ask you about it. So my number 2 is obviously Simone Jardine, Simone Jardine.
Whatever it is.
Whatever.
Different pronunciations.
whatever she wants to be called, we'll call her that. She might be considered the GOAT for the ladies right now. She's so accomplished. Really nice person too. She's done a lot of clinics in the area. I was lucky to watch one of the personal clinics, and I highly recommend if she gets back into that. Number 3, I'm going with Catherine for sure. I would have almost liked to have put Catherine above Simone, but there's no way you can put anyone above Simone, all time. Obviously, we're not talking about current playing, but Catherine Parento is truly just such a consistent, wonderful player. But the one person actually, we agree on all that. Did we forget the gal that your son? I said, Blake, you're playing pro. This gal has not played pro yet. She's breaking into it. I saw her play at Naples. That was her first tournament, I believe. I think she might have been playing with Sheev. Anna Bright, like she's considered Southwest Florida, isn't she?
I believe she is. The only reason I thought about Anna Bright, but I believe that she has moved to the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
So I had to get rid of Anna Bright. Sorry, Anna. You shouldn't have moved.
Yeah, because I'm going with Anna Bright, maybe in front of Paris, but we'll see. Because if we're going to go East Coast, then we got to start throwing in Anna Lee, and one of my favorites is Lee Waters. She was actually one of my inspirations to how I started playing pickleball differently. Because I feel like more than anyone, Lee Waters changed the way the game was played. The first time I saw Anna Lee and Lee play nationals, I think it was 2020 or whatever, and they changed the game. They made it a new, fast. We're not gonna drop dink. We're gonna change the game. You got anything else on the best players?
I would agree with that. It seemed like. Especially in the female doubles competition, the game has changed more from a 3-shot game to a 5-shot game.
Yeah.
Where the third shot's going to be a drive and the 5th shot might be either a drop or drive, but a lot of the third shots from these young ladies are drives.
Yeah, especially the up-and-coming ones. We got so many more from Southwest Florida. We would like to hear from Southwest Florida. Tell us your favorites. You can hit the link below. We'd like to see your comments. I want to hear about the up-and-coming ladies that we don't see and know about from Tampa, Sarasota, Naples, all over. We are a somewhat Southwest Florida channel right now, but we are also trying to discuss broader topics. So once Pickleball channel comes up, they want to throw us on 24 hours a day, every week. Gary and Gary Squared.
Very good. If you have any topics you would like us to discuss, please let us know, and we'll either put it together or we'll bullshit about it. One way or the other.
There is a swear jar. One last thing. We're going to end all our podcasts with questions. I've got a couple questions here. Question. And this is when we're talking about duper. This comes from Vincent. Vincent says, my duper is 5.8. Why doesn't that tall Gary Wilson allow me in his competitive pickleball league? I don't know how Vincent got a duper of 5.8, but I looked it up. He played his dog once and won 11-1. So apparently he's pretty good. Why have you not included him?
I don't know who Vincent is. If I knew who Vincent was, I could give you an example.
Maybe the better question is, how did his dog get 1 point?
How did his dog get 1 point? I don't know. If you're a 5.8, your dog should not get 1 point.
Yeah, it's something. So, got another question here in regards to competitive pickleball. This comes from Andrea, and sounds like she wants to get to play more ladies. Where does she find these competitive ladies?
I think no matter where you're from, Andrea, if you attend that facility and you look around and you get on a challenge court really helps you advance your game. It helps you get recognized by the better players to get into a group. And that might be the best way for her to get other high-level female competition.
Excellent point. And my last question, actually, I got this morning. It's not on my phone. It's from my wife, Barb. And actually, I can't actually say it on air. So I don't.
He's going to postpone that till we shut the camera off. I guess.
There you go. So do you have any questions?
Not at this time.
So what we need you, the audience, please send us your questions. We got a lot more. We're going to cover a bunch of different things next week, the week after. What do we got? Next week we've got Duper and UTPR. You know what UTPR stands for? Unbelievably terrible pickleball system, rating system. So we got that coming up.
And Duper stands for Dynamic Universal player ratings.
I kind of like Duper. What other topics we got in the week after? I believe you mentioned pickleball paddles. We'll go over different things of that.
And along with that, Gary, you know what the people would like to hear also is pickleball balls, the difference of balls, the difference of a Franklin ball, a Dura ball, an indoor ball compared to an outdoor ball.
How about that Selkirk ball that you brought out last week?
The Selkirk ball was a very, very good ball, very similar to the Dura 40. However, I will say, didn't quite match the speed of a Dura 40.
Yeah, and we don't want to give away the next podcast, so on balls. We also want to talk about Southwest Florida. We want to talk about all the tournaments coming up. If you guys can send us a shout, what tournaments are coming up, which ones you all want to play, any ideas for anything else, Southwest Florida. Spaghettiman, he's got a lot of 50-plus videos. He covers a lot of stuff on U.S. Open. We're also going to be covering the Nationals coming up. I believe that might be it. You got anything else?
Yeah, the Nationals are coming up first week in November out in Dallas, out in Texas. Both Gary and I are going. We're going to hope that we get some videos there, and hopefully we do well, and hopefully we bring back a gold medal, just like a ping pong one.
There you go. I think that's a wrap. All right. Cheers. Thank you.
Take care.